I'm standing on the Kawarau Bridge, the world's birthplace of bungee jumping, almost 150 feet above the river below. Well, I'm Doug McConnell in New Zealand, and we've got a show filled with heart-pounding, adrenaline-packed action coming up right now on Backroads Adventures! Woo! Woo! Tonight on Bay Area Backroads Great New Zealand Adventures, we'll head across the Pacific for high adventure Kiwi style. We'll zip down sand dunes, roll down hills, and ride a river over the world's highest commercially rafted waterfall. We'll find big thrills and small wonders on New Zealand's largest glacier. And we'll explore living landscapes by bike, by kayak, and from the seat of one giant rope swing. That's all coming up right now on Bay Area Backroads Great New Zealand Adventures. New Zealand is breathtaking in every sense of the word. From picturesque and empty beaches, to volcanic moonscapes, to grand fjords, to snow-capped mountain ranges rising to the sky, the physical beauty of New Zealand is hard to beat. But the small Pacific Island nation has much more to offer than just good looks. It has rich history and culture. It has some of the friendliest and warmest people you'll ever meet. There's good food and good wine to be found. It's played starring roles in some of the biggest movies ever made, all in a country roughly the size of California with 1/10 of the population. New Zealand is located across the Pacific Ocean, about 6,500 miles southwest of San Francisco. It's about a 12-hour flight to the city of Auckland. The country is made up of 2 islands. We'll start our trip on the North Island, exploring the Northland region and the Bay of Islands. We'll make our way south, stopping in the country's largest city, Auckland, and the town of Rotorua, before flying to the South Island for some adventures around Queenstown, and finally on to Fox Glacier on the South Island's west coast. Virtually everywhere you look, New Zealand is extraordinarily beautiful, and it's hugely diverse. It's a nation perfectly designed for exploration, and it's become world famous for adventure. Just about any adventure you can dream up, chances are you can do it in New Zealand. And we've come to sample some of the action on land, on sea, on rivers, and on ice, flying above it, and of course, jumping off it. It seems Kiwis love to jump off of just about anything. But we'll start our New Zealand adventure with both feet, for the moment, planted firmly on the ground in the subtropical Northland region of the North Island.
Not a bad place to live.
Oh, it's a lovely place to live. That's why I came here 13 years ago for 2 weeks, and I'm still here.
Grant Harnish is the owner of Salt Air, a company that offers scenic flights around northern New Zealand, including the famous Bay of Islands, a picturesque turquoise bay dotted with over 100 islands. It's also the starting point for our journey, a 1-hour flight up the west coast over the Bay of Islands to Cape Reinga at the northern tip of the country.
And then we'll land at the top, and we can have a little guided tour around Cape Reinga and do the lighthouse and the beaches, and we'll go sand tobogganing and do all that.
Sand tobogganing?
Sand tobogganings. For those who live in the north where we don't have any snow, we had to come up with something new. So we do it on the giant sand dunes at Te Paki. It's great fun.
Sounds great. Well, let's do it. I'm going to go co-pilot, right?
You certainly are. We're on our way.
We lift into the sky and are quickly treated to wonderful views of the lush, open land below. As As we make our way towards the coast, we pass over glistening bays and a spectacular stand of native cherry trees.
Wow, look at that, so beautiful.
Grant skillfully pilots us to the west coast, where the gorgeous scenery delights us all.
Oh man, this is great.
This gets better and better. We're just getting warmed up here, though.
Finally, we make our way over a stunning stretch of deserted white sand and surf, known as 90 Mile Beach.
Oh, look at this beach. Look at this beach. I mean, it just goes, and there's not a soul to be seen. As far as the eye can see, there's nobody. Man.
According to Grant, spotting people up this way is relatively rare, but other non-human sightings are common.
The sharks come in real close because they have schools of fish. They work within the breakers, and also sharks are cold-blooded. So they come in and the water's a lot warmer where it's shallow and they bask in it.
Grant steers the plane inland to search for some other wild animals he frequently spots in the neighborhood.
We're seeing the wild horses on 90 Mile Beach, though. We see them most trips, and they just live in the tussock areas you can see just inside of the beach there. But they were domesticated horses which over quite a number of years have ended up wild. They've escaped from captivity, and they've sort of become their own little breed up there.
We take one last pass over the beach before ending the aerial portion of our tour, and Grant gives us all a thrilling close-up view.
Unbelievable. Woo. We are seabirds. We are shorebirds. Oh, man. This is just unbelievable.
It has been an unbelievable experience, but there's more to see on the ground. So we land on a little grassy airstrip on the North Cape to start our next adventure on land.
Well, first of all, welcome to the very far north. You are here. This is Shinstone's farm.
We're greeted by Honey Ka'aka, our guide for the land portion of the tour. Soon enough, we hit the road, passing wide-open rolling hills. The coast comes into view, and in short order, we make our way to a spot where the Pacific Ocean and the Tasman Sea collide, an important and spiritual place for Maori people, the native inhabitants of New Zealand, such as Honey.
This place here is called Te Rerenga Wairua, which means the flight of your spirit.
Maori people believe that this is where all Maori go when they die.
And they go down the tree, down into the rocks, and down into the rock there's a cave. And then from there, they will take the currents out to Three Kings Island, which is out this area, where they turn and have their last look back at New Zealand, their last drink of fresh water, before they head off to the ancestral homelands of Hawaii Nui.
We take a few minutes to enjoy the views of the turbulent confluence of oceans and the old lighthouse guarding the far northern tip of New Zealand. And then we're on the move again, turning off the main road and following a small stream to the giant sand dunes of Tapaki.
Honey, that's probably 30,000 feet high.
Probably,
that
yeah.
Sand dune. I mean, it's big, it's huge. And we're going to go down it in this stuff?
Yes, what we're going to do is we're going to go carry these up. You carry your own board up.
There's no chairlift here?
There's no chairlift.
Honey gives us a few tips, and then we slowly trudge our way to the top of the 100-foot dune for our first taste of sand tobogganing.
Okay, so feet in.
Yep, balance your weight around a wee bit. Hands in the sand, those are your brakes.
Woo-hoo!
After some slow runs, a few false starts, and more than a few tumbles, we start to get the hang of it, and Honey decides it's time to graduate to the faster boards and shows us how it's done, making it all the way down the dune and across the creek. Up for the challenge, I make my way back up and set my sights on the creek below.
Oh! Woo! What a ride! What a ride!
It has been quite a ride. From the air, to the land, to the sand. A full day packed with fun, beauty, and thrills.
Oh, man.
And just the beginning of our New Zealand adventures. Stay with us as our adventures continue dropping into rivers, rolling down hills, and stepping our way into ice caves and onto glaciers. But coming up next, the beautiful Bay of Islands and a road trip to the big city. For information about the Northland region and tours with salt air, go to BayAreaBackroads.com or Cron4.com or call the Backroads hotline at 415-447-6300.
Bay Area Backroads is brought to you by your California Jeep dealers. Who else?
So far, our journey through the Northland region of New Zealand has been amazing. One of the highlights was getting a bird's eye view of the beautiful Bay of Islands.
Wow, look at that, so beautiful.
It was so breathtaking, we decided to come down to sea level for a closer look.
Wow, look at this.
Well, if you're interested in anything to do with the water in New Zealand, this is probably the place to be. There's lots of good diving, excellent coastline for keelboat cruising and dolphin watching, bird life, just enjoying the outdoors.
According to coastal kayakers owner Graham Rigdon, the Bay of Islands is the perfect playground for those seeking watery adventures. Today, Graham is taking us to Roberton Island, a popular and picturesque spot just a short boat ride from the mainland, for a little sea kayaking.
Woo! Another day on the ocean wave.
Tough life out here, you know?
Someone has to do it, eh?
We head out into a beautiful crescent-shaped bay for a leisurely paddle around the island, slicing through the clear aqua water.
You know, the clouds have come in, but it's still warm out here, really. The water is looking about as clear as a bell.
You just about want to drink it, except it's salty.
Oh, this is great out here. Coming around the bend here.
We glide through the calm water, heading for a spot where Graham says the famous British explorer, Captain James Cook, once came ashore.
This is where he was forced into the Bay of Islands and ended up spending about 8 or 9 days here.
And this is a plaque commemorating that, huh?
It is.
We paddle on, slipping into coves and caves as we explore the island's rugged coastline.
Oh, what a nice little thing to sneak in that little cove back there.
It's like coming out on a roller coaster. This is sea kayaking.
Yep.
Exploring it at close quarters.
It's beautiful out here on the water, but our time in this part of New Zealand is growing short. We're expected in Auckland soon. So we force ourselves out of the water and into our car to start the next leg of our journey towards the country's largest city.
Probably the most adventuresome thing about driving in New Zealand is to keep in mind always to drive on the left-hand side. You know, we're so used to driving on the other side. In fact, some of the rental cars even have little stickers on the dashboard saying, keep left, keep left. Good to look at every so often.
I do manage to keep left and keep on heading south toward Auckland, still a 4-hour drive away. We wind our way along wide-open country roads, through busy towns, and across countless one-lane bridges. Finally, we arrive in the little town of Waipu and pull off the road to refuel.
Oh man, so this is all for me, right?
This is a little sample of every kind of flavor we do here.
The Pizza Barn is a good place to get your fill of food, fun, and local lore.
No, the only thing that people watching should be careful of when they come and they lie on the beaches is the sea crocodiles.
They're huge, aren't they? Like 30, 40 feet long.
They're 30, 40 feet long and they prey on sunbathers. But other than that, traveling through New Zealand's very safe.
After sharing some laughs and pizzas with owners Clayton and Jeff Gwynn and Ali DeSoto, we're back on the road and in no time hit the coast.
Well, after a little bit, the road begins to skirt beautiful white sand beaches like this one. It's really terrific out here, and I've got to admit, I hate to leave this part of New Zealand.
We enjoy the wonderful coastal views as we bid the Northland region farewell and continue on towards Auckland. The sun begins to fade. The roadways change from small country lanes to big city highways, and our destination comes into view, shimmering through the rainy night sky.
Well, there is Auckland, the biggest city by far in New Zealand, and the Sky Tower, the tallest structure in the Southern Hemisphere. Oh, Auckland is a great place to come for just about anything you might want to do.
Auckland is a city that seems to have everything, from adventure possibilities of all kinds to cosmopolitan sophistication. It's home to 1.3 million people, 1/3 of New Zealand's population, including Jackie Hudson, a television personality and Auckland native who offered to show me around, starting at the Sky Tower.
Whoa, man, look at that.
We ride the high-speed elevator up and get off at the observation deck, 600 feet above the streets below.
Wow, great view.
From here, Auckland spreads out beneath us, offering 50-mile views on a clear day in every direction. Jackie points out some of the sights below, including a number of sloping hills that dot the landscape.
So you're saying that those little bumps out there are actually volcanoes?
That's right. Now, the Auckland area is home to 48 volcanic cones.
48 volcanic
48,
cones.
yeah.
And are they about ready to erupt any
No,
moment?
no, thank God, they're all dormant.
All right.
Yeah, they're dormant, so we don't need to worry.
We spend a few more minutes enjoying this wonderful perspective of the city and watching daredevils do the 600-foot sky jump before moving back down to sea level ourselves.
You've got lots and lots of restaurants to choose from. There's no
Too
shortage.
many.
Jackie takes me to a bustling section of town at the water's edge called Viaduct Harbor.
This is a place to go if you want to have, bit of a nightlife, bit of dancing, nice, brilliant food, great wine.
The area was renovated for the 2000 and 2003 America's Cup sailing races. Today, locals and visitors come here to stroll the walkways, soak up the sun and atmosphere, and hang out at the many high-end restaurants and cafes. It's also a gathering point for folks interested in sailing.
So many Aucklanders own boats. Everyone's out on the water.
More than just about any place else in the world, really.
That's right, that's right.
Down here at the harbor, you can hop aboard just about any kind of boat imaginable, including an actual America's Cup yacht. Or you can simply relax, take it all in, and have a very good cup of coffee.
All right, kid. I'm doing
Okay,
it.
great.
Thanks for the tour.
Cheers.
Cheers.
For information about any of the places we visited, from the Bay of Islands to Auckland, visit our website or call the Backroads Hotline. Stay with us for big jumps, big mountains, and big glaciers. And coming up next, very big waterfalls. New Zealand offers a lifetime of adventures, and we've experienced a good bit of it so far. Exploring the Northland's spectacular coast from the air and by sea.
Wow, look at this.
We've also experienced the cosmopolitan atmosphere in New Zealand's biggest city.
There's a vibrancy, sort of youthfulness about it.
But there's so much more to explore. 3/4 of New Zealand lies to the south of Auckland. So we continue our journey, driving about 150 miles southeast to Rotorua, the North Island's most popular tourist destination.
Oh, this gorgeous scene is Lake Rotorua. People have been coming here from around the world for more than a century and a half, and they still flock to this place for many good reasons.
Rotorua is alive with geothermal activity, and it's the healing mineral pools that first brought visitors here in the late 1800s. Rotorua also has a large, vibrant Maori population, making it a good place to experience Maori culture. The area's beautiful lakes and forests attract anglers and mountain bikers. And like most of New Zealand, Rotorua offers plenty of choices for those seeking high adventure.
We've got rafting, we've got sledging, we've got bungee jumping, we've got skydiving right at our doorsteps.
We're here to sample some of Rotorua's thrills on the water and in it. But we'll start on land, trying a slightly silly sport. It's called zorbing, and it was invented by two Kiwis in the 1990s. Zorbonauts dive into a double sphere made of thick plastic. Cushioned by 2 feet of air, they roll downhill with or without a few gallons of water.
You roll around and you don't know which way's up, and you're like rolling up and down and around, and you don't know where you are or
and
where
it's so slippery.
Kids love it, and so do adults.
It was excellent, truly excellent.
And I can't wait to try.
The more you scream, the better the ride. That's what we think. I'm going to get you to take a big run up.
Australian Elisa Clement works at the world's first Zorb site here on the outskirts of Rotorua.
So tell me, give me some technique, some tips.
So you can walk and run and jump and throw yourself around all the way to the bottom of the hill. Ready? Spaghetti!
Here go!
On Elisa's signal, I start walking downhill, but I can't stay on my feet for very long. The water makes for a slippery, sloshy ride down the 500-foot track. It's tremendous fun, and unlike anything I've ever done before.
Man, not graceful, but that was really great. That was really fun.
Our next adventure is all about getting wet and wild.
Welcome to the Kaituna River, Doug.
Stevie Wall of Kaitiaki Adventures is our guide on the Kaituna River. Today, he'll get our adrenaline pumping as he steers our raft over big waterfalls and teaches us another way to enjoy the rapids on a plastic board known as a sledge.
Just work your arms up there first, bring your hands out. This is called personal flotation device. Try that one.
Stevie outfits me with the right gear.
Forward paddle, forwards together, get down.
And teaches me some rafting basics before we go to the river's edge for a prayer that reflects his Maori heritage.
E te awa e te re nei kai tūna te nā koe, papatūanuku ngā mihi aroha ki a koe. What we're asking for is a safe, friendly, happy journey, welcome you onto the river, and thanking the people before us for this awesome treasure for us to go and have a cool time on.
The first part of the trip is cool and calm, and gives me a chance to appreciate the lush, almost mystical-looking landscape.
One together, nice. Keep going, guys, all the way to the white water.
But it's not long before we hit some white water and approach the first of 3 drops. The sledgers slide over at first, plunging underwater and popping back up.
The goal is if you can,
if you can, go underneath if you can.
It's more fun.
Yeah, mate, and then you get a bit of water in the face.
Then it's our turn. We shoot down not 1, but 2 waterfalls, dropping a total of 11 feet. That's nothing compared to what's ahead.
Welcome to the highest commercially rafted waterfall in the world. Beautiful time, awesome part of New Zealand, and yeah, a great 7-meter drop.
7 meters? That's 23 feet, like jumping out of a 3rd-floor window.
You sure we can do this thing?
Oh, mate, we can do this.
I'm a little nervous, but I know I'm in good hands with Stevie, and he's taught me what to do if the raft flips.
And whatever happens after we go over the edge, that's what happens, and we'll deal with that.
We are getting wet.
Cool, we're getting wet, otherwise I'll give you money back. Nah.
It's a long and exhilarating free fall. At the bottom, we are totally submerged for a moment before popping up to celebrate.
I got to tell you, man, this has been really great because the smiles are huge. I mean, you come off of that thing and you feel great.
Oh, you're bulletproof, mate. Once you come off there, 7-meter drop, you can do anything, I'm sure, mate.
Anything in life.
Yeah, exactly, mate.
That can-do attitude is crucial for our next whitewater adventure, since I've never tried sledging before.
You'll kind of guide me down there,
Yeah,
right?
just follow me in behind. It's pretty simple, mate.
All right,
just hold on.
I'm doing it.
At first, I'm not doing it very well. Stevie and his friends make it look easy, gliding through rapids and taking waterfalls head-on. While I keep getting spit out. Still, it's great fun to get out of the raft and into the river. And with some coaching, I become more comfortable and start to learn how to read the rapids.
Oh man, great job, that is great.
It's a wicked ride and an intense way to experience the river.
You're part of the water. You're
Part of the water, yeah. That's what it's all about with us, is being one with the water and respecting your environment. We believe if you're good to Mother Nature, she'll be good back to you.
And the river has been very good to us, and so is Stevie, who ends our time together with a traditional Maori sign of friendship, pressing of noses.
Kia ora, Doug. Thank you very much
That's
for coming
great,
today.
man.
Too much?
That was great.
For more information about zorbing or river trips with Kaitiaki Adventures, go to our websites, bayareabackroads.com or cron4.com, or call the Backroads Hotline. Still ahead, reaching new heights on a dramatic glacier. But first, playing with gravity in New Zealand's adventure capital.
Bay Area Backroads is brought to you by your California Jeep dealers. Who else?
Exploring New Zealand's North Island has brought us all sorts of surprises.
Whoa, man, look at that.
From modern marvels to ancient traditions. We've enjoyed beaches and bays, rivers and forests, urban landscapes, and volcanic ones. But believe it or not, New Zealand's most dramatic scenes are still to come. We're heading to the South Island, renowned for the rugged beauty of its fjords, glaciers, and mountains.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
Oh, check it out, eh?
And for its extreme adventures. From Rotorua, we'll fly more than 600 miles southwest, crossing most of the South Island, to land in Queenstown. Queenstown is a great destination for thrill seekers and adrenaline junkies. After all, this is the birthplace of bungee.
Queenstown's just the perfect place to get all this out of your system.
The scenery is intoxicating, and with its stunning mountains, rivers, and lakes, Queenstown is a perfect place to get out and play.
So there's lots of adventure to be had out here.
We'll start our Queenstown adventure with a big leap of faith. It seems you can throw yourself off of just about anything around Queenstown, in just about any fashion.
Hey guys, how are you?
We take the plunge at the Kawarau Bridge, site of the first bungee business.
Oh my God! Woo!
But it's just a warm-up for our next adventure.
Woo, man, that's a long way down. How high are we up?
We're 350 feet above the Shotover River.
Greg Merritt helps run the Shotover Canyon Swing, billed as the world's largest rope swing.
When I step off the edge, what's going to happen to me out there?
Basically, you're going to fall about 180 feet, and then the tension on the ropes will take up, and you'll enter a nice big swing, doing approximately 90 miles an hour. And yeah, we'll let you swing a couple of times and then bring you back to the platform.
So I should expect to have a little bit of a rush as I step off into space.
That will be the understatement of the year. Yeah.
This is the biggest darn swing I've ever seen in my life.
Secured in a full body harness, I make my way to the platform's edge.
This is where it really happens, huh?
That's where it really happens, mate. So
Okay, well, I'm hooked in. I guess I'm ready to go. It's a long way to the bottom, but there goes nothing. Woo! Oh my God, woo!
It is a long way to the bottom, and my heart is in my throat most of the way.
This is great!
But once I stop falling and start swinging, I get a good look around this beautiful canyon.
Man, that is terrific, God.
Before I'm winched back up to the platform.
That was so cool. That was just beautiful. It was fast, it was smooth, the scenery was great, and I'm here to tell the tale.
Our next adventure certainly is beautiful, but I cannot say that it's smooth.
Whoa!
We're going helibiking in the mountains around Queenstown.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a nice, exciting ride, I think, Doug.
John Thompson of South Island Guides has designed a trip to show us Queenstown by air, by bike, and by boat.
So JT, you know, a lot of people have bike racks on their cars, but I don't see too many bike racks on helicopters.
Yeah, that's right. This is custom built just for us, actually, so.
The helicopter takes us and our bikes up over Queenstown and across Lake Wakatipu.
You see, it's quite a long lake, but it's also very narrow, which means it's quite cold.
We're headed for a spot high in the hills, just minutes from downtown, but far removed from its bustle.
It's pretty nice up there, and I don't think there'll be anyone else there either.
So we have a spot not too crowded out here.
It's all ours.
From above, we get a good look at the trail we'll follow back to the lake.
Look at that, gee.
That's right. Like most New Zealand mountains, actually, it starts a little bit steep.
We'll start our ride from a mountain saddle and cover about 13 miles.
Man, that was a great flight.
That's right, it sure was. Let's go check out the biking.
JT encourages me to take the time to enjoy every inch of it.
I don't think you can rush around in this sort of environment. You know, it's nice to stop and enjoy the view whenever you can.
Here we go, Doug. Nice fat tires down the hill, huh?
I sure do stop a lot in the beginning.
Oh!
But not for the views.
Whoa, Doug.
I struggle to stay on my bike in this steep, rocky terrain.
There we go. Back behind that seat even a bit more.
But JT is a patient and able coach.
Yeah, there we go.
And I eventually get the hang of it.
Oh, look at this out here, though. This is great. God, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, isn't it?
Winding through switchbacks, we get stunning views and a good workout. Part of what keeps JT so happy in these hills.
This is probably the 1000th time you've come up on these mountains to go biking.
Well, every day is a different day with different people, and you know, I don't think you can ever get sick of this sort of environment.
Soon we cross a stream.
That water looks mighty good.
You want to drink some?
And stop to enjoy mountain water that's clean enough to drink.
That's cold, that's good.
It's as good as any bottled water, that's for sure.
Oh, man.
We continue our descent, passing through a beautiful, quiet forest, thick with native silver beech trees. Before a big climb that rewards us with a vivid view of where we're headed.
Oh, look at that, the lake out there.
Yep.
Looking pretty.
Glorious, isn't it?
Oh, beautiful, look at that.
Hundreds of sheep greet us as the trail begins to flatten and the land becomes a vibrant green.
Beautiful! Woo! Nice.
It's a spectacular landscape, but we see it on the move. We're racing to catch the last boat back to Queenstown. Our ride, the historic steamship TSS Earnslaw, has been cruising Lake Wakatipu since 1912.
Oh, nice. Oh, look at this.
We pull up to the dock just in time.
The boat.
Very good.
Back to Queenstown, huh?
That's the way to finish.
Man, great way to end the day,
I
huh?
like that. Yeah.
Man, this view is not bad. We've had a helicopter view, we've had a bicycle view, we now got a boat view.
Yeah.
I don't know which one I like the best. I like them all.
Yeah, I like them all too, actually. It makes for a good day, I think. You know, you can get to see it from high, you can see the lake, and a whole lot of riding in between. I mean, you got to see how it is really close to the ground.
But you know what? That bike ride was worth every little scrape, every little bruise.
Yep.
It was so beautiful up there. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Really, really unbelievable.
In fact, it is hard to believe how much fun you can have without leaving Queenstown. From death-defying leaps to long afternoons in the wilderness, Queenstown truly is New Zealand's adventure capital. For more information on South Island guides, the Canyon Swing, or the Kawarau Bungee, call the Backroads Hotline or visit our websites. Still ahead, a walk on the wild side on New Zealand's largest glacier, plus more spectacular South Island scenery.
Well, this is the top of the world in New Zealand. We've got the country's two tallest mountains right here. That's Mount Tasman right behind me. And off to the left is Mount Cook. That's the tallest peak in the nation. It's over 12,000 feet. Getting to this spot is a terrific adventure.
Our adventure begins as we leave Queenstown in search of New Zealand's highest peaks and famous glaciers on the South Island's west coast. From Queenstown, we drive north to the Tasman Sea and then up the west coast to the town of Fox Glacier. We drive about 5 hours, covering 210 miles on narrow, winding roads. The route takes us past dazzling lakes, rugged coastline, and through 2 national parks before giving us our first glimpse of the high peaks we'll tackle in the morning.
Our journey will take us up to the snowfields at the very top where the glacier forms.
Abel Roche, an experienced mountain guide with Alpine Guides Fox Glacier, will lead our day-long expedition on and above New Zealand's largest glacier. Fox Glacier stretches about 8 miles. It begins high in the snowy mountains, but unlike other glaciers, it descends into temperate rainforest close to the coast.
Even if you've been on other glaciers around the world, in Norway and Canada, Alaska, this will be quite a different experience to be in such a warm environment and in amongst the rainforest and to see the glaciers as well.
Just huge areas of wilderness.
A helicopter carries us over the lush valley floor.
Oh, we can see the glacier right straight ahead of us there. Is that Fox Glacier there? Yep, just coming into view as the glacier.
We circle an area known as Victoria Flat, where it's safe to land and walk on the ice.
I tell you what, the helicopter looks mighty tiny on the scale of this glacier. That certainly gives you an idea of the size of the ice we're flying over here.
We'll visit Victoria Flat later, but first we head higher, landing on a ridge near an alpine meadow.
About a 100-metre vertical climb.
It's a great place to hike and a good spot to survey Fox Glacier from above.
How fast is that glacier flowing?
Through this area here, it's pouring down at about 4 metres a day.
4 meters, that's about 12 feet.
12
every day.
Every day.
That's fast. That's racing down the hill.
For a glacier, it's fast. You know, these are temperate glaciers, and they're lubricated by all the rainwater pouring underneath them, and they just take off down the mountains.
Soon we take off too, for another short but scenic flight.
Here we're just about to fly over Victoria Waterfall, which is meltwater off the Victoria Glacier, and it plunges in a big sort of 100-metre high waterfall in underneath Fox Glacier. Oh, look at that. Ooh, man.
We land on Victoria Flat.
Down like this.
And Abel outfits me with crampons.
And then pull it towards the front to tighten it up.
Common mountaineering gear that allows us to safely explore this part of the glacier on foot. First, we head into an ice tunnel carved by a stream of water. Inside, it's a startling shade of blue, and the ice appears incredibly smooth, almost sculptural. This ice cave is a tight squeeze, but others are a little roomier.
This is a slightly different cave to the one we were in before. This is actually a pressure ripple.
A pressure ripple?
So pressure's building up in the ice as it tries to push itself down, and the surface isn't very well bonded, and it actually ripples up into archways that are hollow that you can then walk through.
Abel predicts this cave will collapse in a few days as the glacier grinds downhill.
These features come and go so quickly. You never know what you're going to see up here.
Enjoy it while you can, because it's going to change tomorrow.
Yep.
The ice isn't the only thing that changes quickly here. So does the weather. Abel is keeping a close eye on some clouds that could signal a storm that would force us off the glacier.
You could see it coming in off the ocean, and it just rolled into the hills, rose up, and has totally blanketed out the sky above us.
But as we walk, the clouds clear almost as fast as they came in, and that means we can continue exploring and head higher. Our third flight above Fox Glacier is simply spectacular. We get good views of the glacier's most rugged and dramatic terrain. The topography changes as we cross the snowfields where this glacier is formed, and come to another safe landing spot with more terrific views of glaciers and New Zealand's highest mountains.
So we're looking at Mount Tasman over here.
Well, we've got the two biggest peaks which always catch people's attention, Mount Cook and Mount Tasman.
We don't have the gear or the time to climb Mount Cook, but we are game for a shorter hike. We head up a rocky path, inching just a bit closer to the Southern Alps.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
Oh, check it out, eh?
Woo! It feels like we're on top of the world.
So not the top of New Zealand, but as far as I'm concerned, pretty darn close.
Oh, it feels like it, eh? You know, we're on the top of our mountain, surrounded here by the other peaks as well. Some people are very focused on getting to the summit. For us, it's more the journey. It's about being in the mountains. It's about having the best possible day out there.
I can't imagine a better day up here. We've been blessed with beautiful weather and paired with an experienced guide who's shown us this glacier's majesty, from its tight spaces to its enormous expanses and what lies beyond.
What a great way to finish, eh?
Great way to finish.
For more information on alpine guides and Fox Glacier, call the Backroads hotline or visit our websites, bayareabackroads.com or cron4.com. Stay with us for an insider's guide to New Zealand's best wine, great walks, and colorful performances.
Well, we've had an extraordinary trip to New Zealand, done about 1 million things, but there are at least 2 million more things to do. And David Kennedy, you are Chief Executive for Destination Queenstown. You're a 6th-generation New Zealander. You know this country like the back of your hand. And you're going to give us 5 tips of things we should not miss if we're coming to New Zealand, starting with visiting this great town that you live in here, Queenstown. All kinds of adventure activities.
Yeah, this was the birthplace of bungee and the birthplace of jet boating and very many other things.
Well, let's go to jet boating for a second, because that's something we're not doing on this trip, but it's extraordinary. And kind of describe this experience.
New Zealand invention of the jet boat. New Zealand farmer invented it, looking for some way to navigate very shallow rivers, and of course some other Kiwi decided to turn that into an adventure activity, and next thing you're doing 360-degree spins at 70 miles an hour.
And inches away from these walls out there too. All right, that's pretty exciting stuff. If we want to see some other landscapes, as beautiful as it is here, not far away you have the Fiordlands, these extraordinary landscapes. Describe that.
Yeah, often called the eighth wonder of the world. Only about 60 miles away from here, but incredible rainforests over there. It rains about 18 feet a year on average. Amazing rainforest. The fjords rise about 7,000 feet straight out of the sea. So, incredible scenery, something that it really is a must-see in New Zealand.
Must see, absolutely. And if you want to see it up close and personal, there are lots of great walks all over New Zealand.
Yeah, some of the more famous ones, the Routeburn Track and the Milford Track, and those trails go right through the Southern Alps of New Zealand, so beautiful alpine scenery, down to the sea, down to the fjords. So spectacular.
Yeah, and also too, you know, about a third of New Zealand is in national park status, which is extraordinary. And there are other ways of seeing that besides walking. You can kayak through some of this great landscape too.
New Zealand is a big national park, and what we like to, we're outdoors people. We like to get out there amongst it, and whether it's kayaking, whether it's hiking, just getting out into the beautiful scenery is something we all love to do and encourage our visitors to do.
And one thing you're also becoming famous for too is relaxing a little bit and having a great glass of wine. New Zealand has become really one of the great wine development centers in the world.
Yeah, something that not many people sort of were that aware of, and just in the last few years, some amazing wines. Probably started, particularly for our international profile, with Cloudy Bay out of Marlborough, but there are about 3 major wine regions in New Zealand. Even where we are here is a famous wine region.
So drive through the landscape, taste some wine, really enjoy it, and then finally the Maori culture, indigenous culture of this place, and there's a very famous place to do that.
There is, up at the Treaty House at Waitangi in Northland. It's really what we call the birthplace of the nation, and that's where the treaty was signed between the Maori tribes of New Zealand and the Crown, which is the New Zealand government. So it was the coming together of the two peoples, and something we're quite proud of, because that was the start of our modern nation.
And the Maori people come out, they greet you with this haka, this strong, forceful greeting, and then take you inside and tell you the story of the Maori.
Yeah, can be quite a fearful greeting, because you are challenged, and in the old days, if you didn't accept the challenge, then it was war, and if you did, you were greeted like an old friend, and that's part of the way that the Maori culture still is today.
And to really have access to that, to see it, to feel it, to hear it, is a pretty powerful experience.
It's extremely powerful, and it's something, another one you have to see when you come to New Zealand, because it very much is an ingrained part of our culture.
You have a great country. I'm going to come back at least 12 times.
Thanks, Doug.
David, thanks.
For more information, call the Backroads Hotline or visit our websites. Well, that's our show from New Zealand. Truly one of the most extraordinarily beautiful places I have ever been. One of the world's great treasures. I'm Doug McConnell. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
Air transportation for the Backroads crew provided by Air New Zealand, inspiring journeys to the great New Zealand experience. Lodging provided by Copthorne Hotel and Resort, an ideal location for exploring the Bay of Islands. Heritage Hotel, located in the heart of Auckland's business district. Millennium Hotel, centrally located on the shores of Lake Rotorua. Te Waheka Inn, providing rugged elegance beneath the Southern Alps. Lodging in Queenstown provided by Heritage Hotel, a resort with awe-inspiring views. And Outrigger at the Beacon, just steps from Queenstown's shops and restaurants.